Hola tribe. Welcome to the House of Kai. Today is our medicine oracle read. And let's see, I'm going to shuffle up these cards. I've already given them all a good shuffle already. But it's nice to shuffle while being present with the moment of the read. Allowing my vibration to mix with the vibration of the intended medicine for the day. And so, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I don't date the actual readings. However, if you look at the titles, the title will tell you. So, yeah, there is no specific day when the information in medicine reaches you is when it reaches you. So if you don't get to see it the day that it was posted, it doesn't mean the medicine's not for you. If you resonate with the title, then you resonate with the title. I have watched videos a year or two after they'd been created, and they resonated more in that moment than you could imagine. So, yeah, if the title resonates with you, it's yours. It's yours. And if the offering that I offer you for that day doesn't resonate for you, then just toss it away. Toss it away. Let's see. Like, I'm not sure if I've ever said that before. So you probably hear me say that again in the future. It is important to hear that information. All right. Oof. Oh, what a beautiful. Beautiful. All right, it's number 18. I'm being asked. Good. 18. Kuntor Yachak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's blessings from the sun of the Hanapacha. Wow. So it's this, all I keep seeing is the moon on the third eye in this image. And so I don't know if you can see, but there's this moon just beaming out the third eye. Oh, that was a really great reflection in the camera. I'm hearing seeing through the veil, seeing through the emotions. We often represent the moon with the emotional body. It's interesting, I had a conversation with someone recently, and I thought it was hysterical as they said to me, the moon lies, the moon lies. And they were looking at the moon and they were angry at it. They were as if there was the distortion. And I think that's what it was that they had seen the moon and could feel distortions and miscommunications from the reflection of the light beaming off the moon. And I found it so interesting because I vibrate so highly with the moon. There's such a deep resonance and passion behind the vibration and the communication of what the moon holds, to me anyway. And when this person spoke that the moon was a liar, right? They didn't want to, right? They were mad at the moon was a liar. And I remember looking at the moon at that moment and wishing to see what they saw. And in that moment I did. I absolutely did. I went, wow. They're seeing all of these, almost like if you've, like a gas grill, that waves, right? The energy vibration that pulsates off the effervescence, I guess maybe I'd say, coming off of the grill. And I could see these waves moving through the moon itself, and I could, wow, I was like, for someone who if you do not understand the vibration, if you struggle to identify emotional patterning, then yes, the moon would be a liar. That's what I had thought in the moment, and I still do. So if we struggle to understand emotional patterning, then our third eye perception of the moon here will be distorted. It'll appear to be a liar, right? That thought saddens my heart to believe that the moon would be a liar. But I don't deny the phrase either. I think the moon, emotions can often be the lie, right? I think too often we can either deny our emotions or we can get lost in them and follow pathways. And we often pick emotions that are very painful. And so can we allow ourselves to be present with the perceived emotions and follow the pathway that brings us fulfillment and joy? It's a very different way, for me anyway, to perceive flowing with our emotions, right? So often we can, get caught. There could be a moment in time, a moment of truth in that, in that one segment of life, right? There's a, yes, this is true. Yes, the emotion in response to this fact or this current state is true. However, does it have to be permanent? Does it have to be always? Does it have to be the end decision? Or can it just be a moment in time, right? Just because the experience is showing up in the manner to which it is doesn't mean that the experience must stay on that trajectory or pathway. So what is it we choose? If we are using our inner sight through the perception of the moon, then we are not locked in. We are not locked into one path, right? And can we lock into a path? Absolutely. We can absolutely lock into a path. Yeah, is there fulfillment on the path that we have chosen? Is there emotional fulfillment? For me, emotional fulfillment is the superior path. Is the superior path. How do we feel at the end of the day? And are we maintaining that feeling and vibration for long periods of time, right? So I don't expect to be happy all day long. How can I say it? My baseline of happiness is not going to be everybody else's baseline of happiness. And what I can accept as satisfactory or acceptable of my day, what my perception of that emotion is my own. Just like each person has their own perception of pain and threshold. It is such a variant. It is so variant what one's threshold of pain is. And the pain body can be physical, psychological, or emotional. And so again, it's all coming down to the perception and paths that we're choosing to focus on. So I'm going to go back to that. The pain body An interesting. When I teach my classes or I work with my clients, I often ask the question on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst physical pain you've ever experienced, give this present moment a number. And oftentimes my clients say it's a 2 or a 4. You know, it doesn't get that high. Very rarely have I had a client say an 8, and even rarer a 10, maybe, like once. Somebody in some sort of a pose identified their current pain as a 10. And so immediately you want to back off. As I tell my clients, your pain threshold should be no more than a 7. And so why a 7? If we're at a 7 or below, you can breathe. There's space for breath. And if there's space for breath, there's space for change. If we are at an 8 or above, we tend to hold our breath, we stagger our breath, we resist or feel incapable of being able to breathe in a breath. Once you're capable of breathing in a breath, pain will subside. And it's just how it works. Meeting our pain and resistance with breath is how the pain will dissipate. I want to refer to it as the ego mind, but it's probably like the reptilian mind or something like that, that when our brain feels and the pain receptors go off, when the pain receptors go off, the brain will respond by holding its breath because a fight or flight response goes off, right? We immediately go into there's trauma going on, and so we hold our breath out of fear, and we have a distorted perception of that current reality, right? Which is, on some level, the moon is a liar, right? So the moon is just the reflection of the sun. The moon is the emotional body of the sun, right? So if we are in an experience and we are incapable of identifying the emotions because there's a fight or flight response going on in our body, then we are in a state of utter confusion. Whether we know it or not, there is a, oh my goodness, how do I handle this situation? Can we see through that third eye moon vibration with clarity to maneuver our way through the emotional body with a ease and a grace. With ease and a grace. And so the next card I have here is clarity. Let me go figure, right? Can we maneuver through the emotional body with our clarity? Gosh, look at this. I love it. I don't know if you can see. She has this, it's like a butterfly on her crown. This beautiful geode, amethyst, looks like, at her solar plexus, we'll say. Just peering through and allowing, allowing for perceived clarity, right? So, third eye, moon, seeing through the emotions. So, true enlightenment and the guidance is when we can see through our own hearts, right? So in any given moment, we allow our third eye to connect into our hearts and see our way and see the world through our heart center. In order to do that, it is very much as if we're looking through the moon, right? Our heart must have a level of balance and peace and gentleness and ease. if we are looking through our mind's eye, through that heart portal, and the heart is full of distortion and pain, then yes, the moon is a liar. Because our emotional body is throwing daggers and distortion and pain and, lies, right? When the heart holds that much trauma, then we will lose clarity, right? We will, when the heart holds trauma, we don't see clearly. And so, allowing ourselves to do the healing work at this time, so that when we allow our mind's eye to perceive through the portal of our heart, we are capable of seeing the path forward, and one that brings us fulfillment, right? Yeah, one that brings us true fulfillment. I love it. So again, when we perceive life through distortions in the emotions, it's okay to perceive life from the emotional body when the emotional body has levels of clarity to it, right? And it's not about being perfect or right. It's about accepting and being at peace with the emotions we're experiencing, right? They're not right or wrong, they're just emotions, being unattached to them. So, wow, even as I'm here channeling and speaking all of this, I can feel how watery and emotional this time is. Big, big waves and depths of emotions, excuse me, being moved through at this time. So can we allow ourselves to siphon through, sort through, and let go? Wow. And let go of the pain and distortion associated with the emotion, and just bring peace to it, right? Just bring a level of acceptance and harmony to the vibration rather than argue the vibration. That's not necessarily easy. But can we? Yeah. Can we follow the emotion that we wish to experience, not the one that we're allowing ourselves to? How can I say that? Emotions, there's so many that ride through us simultaneously. So do we have to, if when the emotion is seen, we don't have to follow that track line. I know I've already said it, but it's this: just because we're feeling it doesn't mean we have to go so far down that rabbit hole in order to manifest that creation. We can actually change the trajectory in the creation. And so looking through that portal of emotions and then rebalancing them out, and then choosing the path that fulfills our hearts versus being controlled by that emotion. And more often than not, we don't even know we're being controlled by that emotion. We're actually manifesting from the emotional body that we're blinding ourselves to and not even giving ourselves permission to realize that we're manifesting from places of pain, right? So, ooh, this is big. This is big emotional shit. And so the original message I got was perseverance. So keep moving forward. Keep going. So at this time, oh, yeah. And I love it's this vessel, right? I almost said goblet, but it's, you know, this vessel, this horn, this item here that you can actually drink the waters from. So the perseverance is, oh, I'm hearing hold your head up high. Yeah. Hold your head up high and be seen. Funny. I just heard to persevere is to take the stairs. Yeah. So maybe it's about taking that path less chosen. Maybe it is about us not being so afraid of taking steps on a path that makes us uncomfortable, right? Rather than allowing our emotions to direct us in a way that we actually don't want to go, right? Yeah. So utilizing and seeing through that third eye, through the heart, through that heart space, and sort through those emotions. It's all about the emotion, the perception and emotional body through our third eyes. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever looked at intuition in that manner, even though all of my intuition is based off of the emotional experience I'm experiencing. You know, when I'm reading clients, I experience multitudes of emotions, and it is in identifying the emotions that are moving through me that I am capable of helping them sort through their path. Sometimes our verbiage doesn't always match up because the terms in lingo don't may not vibrationally match up for each other, you know, depending on if we come from different backgrounds or heritage or whatever it is. Our verbiage may not always match up. However, the vibration of the experience that I'm experiencing is fairly accurate, fairly highly accurate. Yeah, we get to choose. We get to choose which path brings us that level of emotional fulfillment. And don't get stuck on the ones that you know, don't get stuck. But then I went back to that lying piece, right? So if the moon is a liar, what does that mean? What does that actually mean if a person is perceiving their emotions as lies? Yeah, that's scary. That is scary. Even if the emotional experience you're having is not one that you want to have, I have those all the time that I am not eager to having the experience, but it's the experience. I'm feeling this emotion in that moment. Don't deny it. When you have a feeling, it's important to meet that feeling with the presence, maybe a conversation, but your feelings are indicators. They're not there for lying. It's just a meter that you should be looking at your feelings as a meter of your experience. Interesting information. Whew. I apologize. What I am hearing and communicating, I'm hoping it makes sense. I understand it. I'm unsure if the words are being spoken in the best way of being received. And so with that being said, it just makes me laugh because they have me deep in the moon's vibration. And it's not always black and white in the moon's vibration. You know, emotions are not black and white. They're wishy-washy, they're here, there, and that's what I feel like I'm in. I feel like I'm in that emotional space communicating to you, and I feel like I just am riding and moving through waves. So yeah, I feel like my verbiage is that way too. I just simply love that card. I just simply love that card. I love when I get the deck and that's the card I see. All right. Yeah. So, moving through vibrational moon. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. What else does the collective need? What else does the collective need? Nice. I feel like it would be good to have something grounding in this next piece. As far as the medicine, I feel like it needs to be something of grounding so that we don't get lost in this emotional state. Walking. I think walking would be a really good idea. Yeah. Two more, okay. Wow. Wow. Well, self-mastery. If we can master our emotions, we are the masters of ourselves. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? When we can master our emotions, when we are capable of sorting through and identifying and making sense of the emotional experience we're having, then yes, we're in that state of self-mastery. It is, I know myself, the emotions can take over and will just take you down a path, that you might not want to go on. And you start following that path of emotions and the monkey mind will tell you all sorts of stories. So staying, on that center lane, staying on that surfboard, allowing ourselves to ride the wave of the emotion rather than allow that emotion to take over. Do not deny the emotional experience you're having. It is good to put a word or a term with the actual emotion that you're experiencing so that you can, down the road, go, oh, when I feel this vibration, it is sadness. When I'm feeling this vibration, it's frustration. When I'm feeling this vibration, right? So it's learning how to identify your own emotional responses so that you are the master of yourself and that you can then take control and redirect where you want to be on your path. And so that's interesting to me because, again, going back to the moon as a liar, Oh, it's because it can't be controlled. The moon is just a reflection and an expression of all those emotions. You're not meant to hold on to anything as an identifier. So if the moon is your third eye perception, just allow yourself to be the witness of the emotions. Don't hold on to anything, but allow yourself to change where that like rudder is, like, or change the course where you need to. And I'm seeing in this image where the bird has its prey, it's not, you know, the snake underneath it. It's just, it knows where it needs to go, right? It knows where it needs to go. It's not questioning its direction. It's moving in that direction. Yeah, it's moving in that direction. Self-mastery. Well, I am on that journey too. So, all right, tribe, today's message. Mastering of the emotions. Allowing ourselves to see through that intuition. Don't let it take you on the journey. You take it on the journey. Identify it. Don't deny it. And then you have the power. You have the personal power to change the trajectory of our lives. That's what we do. Wow. That's really powerful. That's really, really powerful. All right, tribe. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mwah. Peace out, yo.